Happy Friday, everybody. We almost made it to the weekend. Still got another day to go, but it's going to be a good day. I hope for everybody it's going to be a good day for us around here. We got a lot on our plate today, including high school football tonight. We invite you to tune in and watch it. Biggest game of the year in the Big Nine for both the Wenatchee Panthers and the visiting Sunnyside Grizzlies. We'll have that game for you tonight, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. Looking forward to that. Be prepared for the wind. This afternoon and into the evening hours. A very fast-moving cold front is bearing down on us, and it's going to make things very windy, and then it's going to cool us way down. There's no rain in the forecast. There's no storms out there associated with this cold front, but it's going to usher in strong winds this afternoon and into the evening hours, really. A little breezy tomorrow and make a difference day, and then we cool way down with some of our afternoon high temperatures by the early part of next week will only be in the 40s after a beautiful last couple of days. Hit 50, what do we had, 59 yesterday. It was a very typical, normal October Thursday yesterday with a high of 59, just about normal. Our low was 37, just about normal. It was a beautiful day. Hope you had a chance to enjoy it. Today, lots of sunshine, lots of wind. Forecast details are coming up. We also have a lot of news to get to. We'll give you the latest on the I don't know, what's the best way to put it? The powdery substance scare at the Douglas County Courthouse in Waterville yesterday afternoon. Everything is calmed down now. Everything looks pretty good, but we'll fill you in on those details as well when we get to news. A lot of sports to get to, including highlights of a nice victory for the Wenatchee Panthers last night in girls soccer. They needed to beat West Valley. They did so. We'll have highlights of that coming up when we get to sports, plus everything else. Mike McKnighty's got an opinion coming your way. We got some celebrity birthdays. We got Today in History. We got the obscure holiday. And starting today and then going through all of next week, and then on Monday the 4th, the day before Election Day, the conversation portion of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley will be our candidate interviews that we've been conducting over the last few weeks. And today it is our interview with Entiat Mayor John Alt. Our senior news correspondent, Steve Harris, sat down with John Alt. All of these interviews will be conducted with both candidates at the same time. This is the one exception, the John Alt interview. John's challenger for the mayor of Entiat, Michael Buckingham, declined our invitation to participate in our candidate profiles, but John Alt agreed to, and so we'll show you that interview with Steve and John coming up in the back half of the hour. Beautiful morning, 3 minutes after the hour, quite a bit of clear skies, 39 degrees. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras, always beginning the festivities is the cross camera, which this morning is zoomed in just a little bit and tilted down just a little bit. The very top of Badger Mountain is seeing a little bit of the sun creeping up over the East Wenatchee bench. We're not there yet. In fact, we're about a half an hour away from sunrise officially. 7:34 this morning. Sunset tonight will be at 5:55. That means 10 hours and 21 minutes of daylight. Daylight saving time 1 week from Sunday. On the 3rd of November is when we go back to standard time and we say goodbye to daylight saving time. I don't know why we do it in the middle of the night. We should do it in the middle of the day. Hey, everybody gets an extra hour instead of sleeping through it, but that's just me. So a beautiful view from our cross camera, that camera adjacent to the cross at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights, and a stunning view it is. Camera number 2 is Megan's Choice, and she says, let's pay a visit to, I want to say, is that Lake Chelan? That's the Bear Mountain camera at Lake Chelan. There you go. We haven't used that camera in quite some time. We have, I think, 2 or 3 cameras in and around the Bear Mountain area. We have a lot of cameras in the Chelan area. We have one at across the way at Union Valley and all over the place. Good morning, Chelan. The race for Chelan Mayor is one of the more interesting that's going on. Of course, this election season, Mike Cooney is the incumbent. He's running for another term, and he's being challenged by Bob Getty, who used to be the mayor of Chelan, and he wants that gig back. I'll keep a close eye on that. By the way, talking about our election profiles, that conversation with Mike Cooney and Bob Getty will be airing Monday on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Camera number 3. We say, is that another view of Lake Chelan? That's the Manson Water Tower. There we go. I forgot about the Manson one, yeah. The Manson actually has a couple of water towers, and they're not too far from each other, but we have a camera situated on the top of one of those as we overlook the Lake Chelan area from just a little bit farther up from the view you just saw, and of course on the other side of the lake. This is a good time to go out and visit Lake Chelan when it's nice and quiet and peaceful, but there's still things to do. And camera 4. We are off to Jump Off Ridge. Little bit of haze there You can see it. We could get, with this cold air coming in and a high pressure ridge that's going to trap that cold air right here on the valley floor, we could be dealing with some inversion issues by the middle to late part of next week. It's something that we're used to living around here, but it's a distinct possibility. So the East Wenatchee bench dominating your view there. Wenatchee way off there, East Wenatchee. Gorgeous view from Jump Off Ridge. Why they call it Jump Off Ridge, I do not know. If you jump off Ridge, you will not live. Heads up on that. Beautiful view, though. Incredible view. Stemill Basin down there as well. All right, so that's our tour around the valley. It's 6 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service. That way, if you don't like the weather, you can blame the government. The big story today is going to be the wind, a fast-moving cold front. Take a look at your wind gusts this afternoon. Hasn't really changed much from yesterday. The wind will start picking up in intensity about 10, 11 o'clock this morning. It'll be downright windy between, say, 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock today. The strongest winds, these gusts above 45 miles an hour, are right around 45 miles an hour, right around 3 and 4 in the afternoon hours. That will be the strongest wind. Obviously, the Waterville Plateau, you're going to get some stronger winds than us here in the Wenatchee Valley. Ellensburg, it's always windy down there. So everybody's going to be dealing with the wind, with some very strong gusty winds, and it's ushering in some pretty cold air. Even though we're going to top off at 62 today, which is about 5 or 6 degrees above normal, that's an anomaly. Things are going to change temperature-wise as we get deeper and deeper into the forecast details. So take a look at where you live. Those will be your gusts later on today. And again, it'll be very windy between about 1 and 7, the strongest winds between 3 and 4 in the afternoon. By about 5, it'll start dying down, although we'll still have some winds tonight. We still have some winds tonight. Once the sun goes down, it'll start dying down a little bit, but we could still have gusts right around 40 miles an hour at times. It'll be decreasing in the overnight hours, and then a little bit of residual wind on Saturday, most of it in the morning. A lot of sunshine on Saturday for Make a Difference Day. That high of 56 is actually a couple of degrees warmer than what they were predicting yesterday at this time, with a little bit of a northwest wind. But of course, as I mentioned before, the cold air is going to come right in, and that means chilly fall temperatures starting Saturday night. Look at that, 32 for the overnight low. Sunday, lots of sunshine, 50 if we're lucky. Look at the overnight low Sunday night, 29 degrees. Will be maybe 51, 52, up to 54. It's possible on Monday. But look at these overnight lows and look at those afternoon high temperatures Tuesday, Wednesday, and Halloween Thursday. Lots of sunshine, chilly temperatures. So below average temperatures forecast for the vast majority of next week. And it looks like Halloween looks pretty fine on Thursday with lots of sunshine and a high of 54. Once again, big story today is going to be the wind, especially this afternoon. You'll start feeling the wind picking up about 9 or 10 o'clock this morning. By 1 o'clock, it'll be downright windy. It'll be very, very windy in the 3 o'clock hour and the 4 o'clock hour. Then it kind of dies down a little bit, but it's going to be breezy most of the day today, downright windy this afternoon, and also windy this evening for quite some time until we get to about 10 or 11 o'clock in the evening. So get ready for some wind and then cool temperatures for the weekend, but lots of sunshine for everybody. 9 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a quick break. We have some high clouds and 39 degrees. When we come back, we'll have your Friday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 37 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life Channel.
My first experience with CVCH, I had to come in with my daughter by myself with a cut in my hand that required stitches. And the care and compassion at CVCH was really significant, that they took the care and compassion and made me feel more as a human instead of just a patient there. The care they have for their community all around, inside and outside the clinic, is what I feel like is different. And that's what makes me want to come back to CVCH and recommend them to my friends and family.
Hi, my name is Jim Heinlein, independent agent and owner at Springwater Insurance Group, formerly known as Senior Insurance Services. And we recently decided to make that name change because we're offering so many different other types of insurances in addition to Medicare education and enrollment like we've been doing for 15 years. So if you have questions about Medicare or any other forms of insurances, give us a call at Springwater Insurance Group, 888-2600, or visit us at any of our 5 locations.
It's shaping up to be a beautiful morning, but a windy afternoon. We have high clouds and 39 degrees, and at 10 minutes after the hour, here's what's making headlines on this Friday. The Douglas County Courthouse in Waterville will be closed today after a white powdery substance was discovered in a returned mail-in ballot on Thursday afternoon. Now, although the Washington State Patrol Bomb Squad announced last night that the material is in fact non-hazardous, Douglas County Commissioners decided to close the courthouse to employees and the public as a precaution while the incident is being investigated. A staffer with the Douglas County Auditor's Office made the discovery about 4:20 yesterday afternoon. When the ballot envelope was sliced open, a white powdery substance fell onto the staffer's hands. That staffer and 3 others in the room at the time were first assessed at the scene, then they were taken to Central Washington Hospital for more examination. The processing of early ballots was taking place in the second-story office of the main building. That's according to Douglas County Undersheriff Tyler Calley. Of course, they've been counting election ballots since they were mailed out late last week. Well, a new round of flyers promoting bigotry has surfaced in the neighborhood around Wenatchee Valley College. This is just like another incident that happened back in September. These flyers bagged and distributed in residential yards along 9th Street. This happened on October 15th, listing websites that reinforce a racist agenda. The college says it's aware of the propaganda campaign and it is monitoring the situation. In other news this morning, the mother of Rayana Rosenberg, that's the child who was rescued from that icy Rock Island pond last February. Well, her mother is now wanted for her alleged part in a chaotic campsite robbery near Banks Lake, and now she's charged with endangering the safety of her own children. Our very own Jefferson Robbins has more on this story.
Douglas County Sheriff's deputies say Becca Ray Rosenberg, a 33-year-old Cooley City woman, had 4 children with her in a minivan that was used September 27th to rob a campsite near Banks Lake. One of those children was Ray Anna Rosenberg, the 6-year-old girl who fell through the ice on a Rock Island pond last February and survived after spending 20 minutes underwater. Police believe Becca Rosenberg, her partner Kai M. Shelton, and at least 3 other men and 1 woman used 2 vehicles to steal a pair of $1,100 portable generators. The campers returned while the theft was in progress, and in the scuffle, one of the alleged thieves was run over by an escaping getaway car. Deputies say the children were exposed to all of this, and now Shelton and Rosenberg are wanted on arrest warrants for charges including robbery, assault, and reckless endangerment of the children. Douglas County Undersheriff Tyler Cale says the kids are now in foster care.
Obviously, they've got connections, they've got children in common, so there is a high possibility they could be together. Then again, they may not either. It is unfortunate. The bright side at this point is at least we know the kids are safe, and we're actively seeking to locate Mr. Shelton and Miss Rosenberg. I'm confident sooner than later we are going to locate them.
Jefferson Robbins, NCW Life.
Thank you for that report, Jefferson. Early morning customers at the Les Schwab Tire Center in East Wenatchee got a shock yesterday. A car crashed into the front window of the store. Now, East Wenatchee Police Officer Leon Leidy tells our very own Eric Grandstrom exactly what happened.
Well, when I arrived, this is what I see right parked here now. She apparently doesn't know what happened. Went through into the building, broke all the glass, a couple big panels, and busted a good hole. But when I talked to her about what happened, she didn't know what happened. She thought she was going to stop. Didn't hit the brake or the gas, is what she said. So.
Gotcha. And nobody inside the store hurt or anything like that?
Nobody hurt at all.
Nobody was hurt, by the way, in this incident. Les Schwab store manager Kirk Mosier, he told us that they'll remain open and they're determining the total damage and they're going to be making repairs. He said staff and customers inside the store were shocked, as you might imagine, by the crash and the sound of the breaking glass, but everyone is okay, thank goodness. A power pole fire caused by a squirrel knocked out electricity yesterday morning for about 300 Douglas County PUD customers in the greater East Wenatchee area. PUD officials say it started around 7:45 in the morning and affected customers north of 23rd Street along Empire Avenue. PUD spokesperson Megan Vibert said power was restored at around 11:30. A celebration of life will be held Sunday from 1 to 4 at the Mission Ridge Ski and Board Resort for David Oltman, the Wenatchee man who died last week in a plane crash in Alaska. Oltman worked 5 years at the ski patrol at Mission Ridge. The family is inviting anybody who knew and loved David to attend. In addition, Mission Ridge will dedicate their first run of the ski season to Oltman. He's survived by his wife Erin and children Reese and Evan. That's the plane that you see there. He was in Alaska as part of his business, BKR Construction. Back on October 17th, he was on a Peninsula Airways flight with 42 other people. It went off the runway while landing in the remote fishing village community of Unalaska. None of the other passengers were killed. 10, however, were injured. And finally, it's a big weekend, not just Make a Difference Day. There's a lot of stuff going on. It looks like Mother Nature is going to cooperate. What's going on this weekend? We have an in-house expert. Weekend events with Megan McPherson.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. Friends of the East Wenatchee Library annual book sale takes place this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and this Sunday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Wenatchee Valley Mall. There will be hardcover books, paperbacks, children's books, CDs, DVDs, and VHS tapes to purchase for great low prices. All proceeds go to support the Children's Summer Reading Program at the East Wenatchee Library. The Leavenworth Winter Sports Club Gear Swap is this Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon in the Leavenworth Fest Hall. This is a great event to sell your unused equipment that has been collecting dust and to find new equipment you can use. You can swap or purchase ski and human-powered gear, watch ski flicks, enjoy music, and socialize. And finally, Wenatchee First United Methodist Church presents the 3rd annual Fall Harvest Festival this Sunday from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. There will be pumpkin painting, a cupcake walk, fishing pond, pumpkin toss, photo wall, trunk or treat, and more fun activities. A free hot dog lunch is offered to all who come. This is a free event and open to the public. For more information on this weekend's events and others, visit the community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Thank you very much, Megan. We appreciate it. Don't forget, wherever you go this weekend, take us along. We're portable. Yeah, we stream all the time. What are they working on for the news tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock? Grant Olson has a preview.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, Douglas County officials will move into the new Law and Justice Center in East Wenatchee next month. But first, we'll give the public a chance to tour the facility. We'll tell you when. And a Wenatchee school principal had the chance to meet the U.S. Education Secretary yesterday in Washington, D.C. I'll have your very windy weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will be in with a preview of all the area football action happening tonight. All that and much more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 right here on the NCW Live Evening News. Dan, back to you.
Thank you very much, Grant and Eric, myself, the whole crew will be very busy, as a matter of fact, today, not only putting together a newscast, disseminating the news, gathering the news, and getting it on the air for you, but then, of course, we have high school football tonight. We're looking forward to that. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers. Get a hold of us. There are any number of ways. We got lots of tools. You can go to our Facebook page and drop us a line there via Messenger. You can send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. You can go to our website at ncwlife.com and fill out the form there. Pick up the telephone and give us a call. Write us a letter. Stand on the roof with a bullhorn. Whatever it takes. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers. 18 minutes after the hour. Speaking of sports, there's a lot to get to. Buckle your seatbelt. An adult portion of sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. And we're broadcasting live this morning from Studio 16 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel. Scare Crazy in Cashmere. It's a spooktacular good time all month long in Cashmere. Scarecrows will be waiting for you throughout the town. Silly ones, spooky ones, and everything in between. Yeah, it's Scare Crazy in Cashmere. Bring the family and find the scarecrows all around Cashmere. And be sure to thank these fine sponsors.
Cashmere Veterinary Clinic is natural pet care in everything they do.
And Sure to Rise Bakery, an old-fashioned bakery with homemade taste.
Wapato Point Cellars has become legendary for fine dining, exclusive award-winning wines, and entertainment. It all starts noon daily with wine tasting and delightful lunch selections. At 5 p.m. it's dinner time with an extensive menu, music, cocktails, and of course those wonderful wines. Indoors or out and always family-friendly, Wapato Point Cellars delivers a truly wonderful combination that few can match. Take the short drive to Manson and see for yourself how good it can be. Great wine, great food, great friends.
We're back 20 minutes after the hour. Sports will start out with the beautiful game. Soccer. And the Wenatchee Panther girls soccer team got back on the winning track last night. They knocked off West Valley 2-0 at Lee Bofta Field at the Apple Bowl. The win helped Wenatchee improve to 8-3 on the season in conference play. That's a half game behind first place Eastmont. Hallie Stegeman broke a scoreless tie in the 30th minute. That gave the Panthers a 1-0 lead at the half. And then Maddie Smith provided the final goal of the game in the second half. Our good friends Sebastian Malaga and Matt Wisen were there with the call. Here are your highlights.
Trying again is Clark. Top of the box. Dooley. Right-footed shot. Goal, 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 goal,
just talking about it, my Wisen, and Wenatchee seemed to have heard us.
Yeah, a little more patience there. Definitely paid some dividends, and they're peppering the ball around, looking for that shot. Great finish to keep that ball on the floor.
The clearing doesn't quite work. Here comes Wenatchee. Maddie Smith shot across, and it dances in front of the mouth of the goal. From the right side now, there's Smith, left-footed shot. Goal, 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 goal! Maddie Smith makes it 2-0 Wenatchee. Did you see the calmness with which she took that shot, Matt Wisen?
Yeah, she just like she's done that a few times before, hasn't she?
Absolutely. Right-footed shot by, oh my goodness! How did that stay out? And the header, the second try, and the stop by, my word, by Roberts. Maddie Smith on the shot across instead. No, goes into the, oh my goodness, almost went in. Flag is up. Trying again is Murphy. Ball goes out of bounds. And there is the final whistle that tells us that Wenatchee takes this one over the West Valley Yakima Rams by a score of 2-0.
My rule is I'll never take my eye off the ball, no matter what. Sometimes I do go in and out when it's like for the first half of the game, the ball was more towards the far end of the field, but still watching and still giving like cues and like, hey, like follow up and keep staying engaged in the game is how I stay focused. And so, yeah, just keeping attention and everything, yeah.
Now, what did Coach tell you at halftime? Because first half and second half were almost like night and day for the team.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. A lot of the time it's like a warm-up first half, and we end up kind of playing a lot better in our second half and with higher intensity, and that's just how it always is for some reason. We try to come out hard, and sometimes we do come out hard in the first half. I think we played all right the first half of this game, but we always come out harder in the second half, and so he's always encouraging that behavior.
How important was it that you walk away here with a win after the Moses Lake game?
Very, very important. We really needed a win. We were hoping to get 3 max score, but we'll walk away with 2-0 just fine.
And you can watch that game in its entirety tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock right here on the NCAA Live channel. Let's go back to the Les Schwab scoreboard for more soccer results on the pitch. Quincy edging Toppenish 3-2. Ephrata beat Prosser 3-1. Tenaska down Bridgeport 5-1. Wenatchee in volleyball was able to take a game from West Valley. That's pretty good, but they still lost to the Rams 12-25, 16-25, 25-16, and 15-25. Moses Lake won a close match with Sunnyside 3-2. Eastmont sweeping Davis on senior night 3-0. Quincy shut out East Valley 3-0. Sela got by Ephrata 3-1, and Chelan blanked Kashmir. In volleyball, 3-0. Coming up on the schedule today, high school football takes center stage. We are pumped in the Big Nine. It's the game of the week. It's the Wenatchee Panthers, the Sunnyside Grizzlies, Lee Bofto Field. At the Apple Bowl, it's homecoming for the Wenatchee Panthers as they try to maintain their position atop the Big Nine standings. We'll have a game for you right here on the NCAA Live channel. Grant Olson and Eric Granstrom pregame 6:45. And we're going to be featuring an interview with the player and head Panther coach Scott Devereaux, who says a focus tonight will be to limit Sunnyside's big plays by their sophomore quarterback, Logan Rodriguez.
Yeah, he throws the ball to some playmakers. They don't make him read any defense. It's slants and goes and quick screens, and he gets the ball out quick, and he's got some guys who can really fly once they get it in their hands. So, for us defensively, we're going to try and eliminate those short passes, and if he does complete them, we need to make tackles.
They got a lot of big plays. That seems to be a lot of their offense is find Rivera and find a big play along the sideline, something like that. How do you prevent those big plays from happening?
Well, it's tough because they get the ball out so quick, So I think we got to mix the coverages up a little bit, keep them thinking a little bit, and also get some pressure on them. We think we can get some pressure on most teams that we've played this year. We got some tall defensive ends, and we've been working this week on getting your hands up to try and eliminate some of those slant passes and things they do really quick.
Our pregame player interview tonight is going to be with senior linebacker Ty Waterman. Now, Ty, of course, is the son of Eastmont's athletic director, Russ Waterman, which makes for some interesting tactics and motivation at home.
Probably the biggest thing that my dad and I, moment we ever shared where it really drove me was when we lost last year, and I get home and I'm sitting there in the kitchen, and the trophy's just sitting there on the table, and I'm just like, it's just that's just motivation to go get it and go get after it again. So
I know you guys don't look ahead, but things being where they are, again, that game could come down to deciding a heck of a lot here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's hard not to look at the schedule and if this happens and that, then this and that and this and that. But the main goal is to win out. If we win out, we win it all. So it's just our only mindset right now.
Looking forward to it tonight. Wenatchee and Sunnyside live right here on the NCAA Live channel. Take a look at the prep football scoreboard in the Columbia Basin Big Nine. The schedule, I should say. Eastmont trying to get back on the winning track. They'll be in Yakima, taking on Eisenhower. Wildcat coach Michael Don says they've tried to lessen the mental load on their defense this week.
Simplify. I think we tried to do a little too much. We try to game plan around them as opposed to doing what we do really well and focusing on what we do. And, we're going to get back to just doing what we do every week and get back to the basics of how we got here. Not too worried about guys, overlooking things. And, we just got to go back to playing football and playing fast. I thought we played a little slow, and they were talented. They got after it, and they took advantage of some of our young guys. We had some guys got exploited a little bit, and we'll just keep working with them and get better.
Junior running back Austin Popoff says the team doesn't dwell too much on the past. They would rather focus on the task directly in front of them.
After the game on Saturday, we have our film, and that's normally when we get the good yelling at and make sure everything is going right for next week. And after Saturday, it's over. We don't talk about it anymore, and we're done with that game. And it's all about preparing for next week. They're pretty good. Got some good linebackers, big linebackers. They play a lot of guys both ways, so we're going to work on running, going fast, and just kind of tire them out so we can see if we can get the dub this week. No, we're just focused on every week. This week we got Ike. Week 10 we'll have Wenatchee. We're not worried about them yet.
Eastmont and Ike down in Yakima. They'll kick off at 7 o'clock tonight. Moses Lake, by the way, they're still looking for their first win of the season. They'll be in Kennewick taking on Southridge in a non-league game. To the Caribou Trail League we go. Cashmere steps out of league play tonight. They'll be traveling to College Place. That kicks off at 6 o'clock. Cascade will be up at Okanagan, and Chelan will host first place OMAC at 7 o'clock tonight. In the CWAC, you got Ephrata taking on East Valley of Yakima. That's down there. And Quincy is on the road as well. They'll be in Ellisburg. To the Bees, can't forget about the Bees. Manson's at Lind. Brewster will be at Tri-Cities Prep, and Waterville-Mansfield plays at Pateras Hall at 6 o'clock. College football Saturday begins at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning for the local teams. Eastern Washington will take on Montana in Montana. Central Washington will host Simon Fraser tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. The big game of the Pac-12, Washington State and number 11 Oregon, Saturday night at 7:30 on ESPN. Coming up over the weekend in prep sports, there's a lot, as you might imagine. In girls soccer, Manson will be at Orville tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastmont will be at Davis at 1 o'clock. On the volleyball schedule, Lakeside out of 9 Mile Falls, and Freeman will play at Cascade and Chelan tomorrow at 1 and then at 3, and then Waterville-Mansfield has a 6:30 date with Manson. Can't forget about the Wenatchee Wild Salmon Arm. The Silverbacks are in town for a couple of games this weekend. Tonight at 7:05, it's Halloween. Get it? Halloween. They're going to have a costume contest, prizes, trick-or-treating for the kids. That's tonight. Tomorrow is Pink at the Rink Night in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. They're going to have the jersey raffle to benefit Wellness Place and all the good stuff that the Wild do. Seahawks, of course, they'll try to get back on the winning track. They'll be in Atlanta on Sunday. They'll play at Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the first time ever. The 1-6 Atlanta Falcons, who's also lost 5 games in a row. 10 a.m. kickoff Sunday morning on Fox. And speaking of Fox, of course, Game 3 of the 115th World Series is tonight. Houston will try and bounce back. They got Zach Greinke on the mound. Washington will go with Anibal Sanchez. The game will be in our nation's capital. Of course, the Nationals lead the series 2-0. They took both of the first 2 games in Houston. And at 29 minutes after the hour, those are just some of the games that people are playing. Look at that. I just want to look at that all day. Sunrise coming up from our cross cam. I had 4 obscure holidays to choose from today. Today is National Greasy Food Day. Not going to do that. Today is Sourest Day, to celebrate all things sour. Today is National Pharmacy Buyer Day. Didn't even know there was. But no, we're going to celebrate breadsticks. It's National Breadstick Day today. And there are chain restaurants out there. Not going to mention who they are. They're going to have specials on breadsticks today. The delicious gooiness and the dunkability of a nice, warm breadstick. It is celebrated always on the last Friday in October. I associate breadsticks with Italian food. I think most people do. You pair it with pasta. It's good to keep all the gravy from falling out the side of your plate. You dip it in the whatever. It's You can have it with your salad. I mean, the aroma of fresh baked bread of any kind in a home is very comforting. Of course, breadsticks come in many forms. They can be soft, they can be crunchy, they can be flavored with onion, garlic, salt, cheese. You can sweeten them with a little sugar, a little cinnamon. Some people do that as well. I have a friend who makes bread, and he puts a little bit of bacon grease in the bread batter when he makes it. Kind of an interesting idea. Happy National Breadstick Day. Look for a breadstick deal at a restaurant near you. 31 minutes after the hour. 1, 2, 3 items in today in history. Nobody knew it at the time, but this was a really good day for America because on October 25th, 1760, 259 years ago today, King George II of England died. And he was succeeded by his grandson, King George III, who would reign for the next 60 years, won a couple of big wars, defeated France in the 7 Years' War, defeated Napoleon in the Battle of Waterloo. Not bad there, George III, but of course, they mixed it up with the colonists over there in North America, and they lost the American War of Independence. It makes you wonder if George III was just a little looser with the checkbook, that we might not even be here. But because he was somewhat of an incompetent, we are. And he took the job on this day 259 years ago today. Thank you very much. October 25th, 1986, 33 years ago today, there it is. The New York Mets win Game 6 of the World Series in the 10th inning. If you watched it when it happened live, and I did, I remembered exactly where I was. Me and my buddy were at Joe's Log Cabin Tavern in downtown Wenatchee, watching Game 6. Let's roll tape.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it. If one picture is worth 1,000 words, you have seen about 1,000,000 words.
It was a very good World Series. Not a big fan of the Mets or the Red Sox. I was cheering for the Red Sox that year anyway. It wasn't really Bill Buckner's fault. The game was already tied, remember, when this incident happened. We lost Bill Buckner a couple of months ago. He passed away, but he'll always be associated with that play. But he was a good guy and a class act. It happened 33 years ago today. Wow. And happy 18th birthday to Windows XP. Yes, the Microsoft Windows XP operating system went on sale on this date, October 25th, 2001, 18 years ago. Of course, 5 years ago, in August of 2014, Windows XP was no longer supported by Microsoft. Sorry. But people still use it. This is a fascinating statistic. As of this month, I looked this up, 1.32% of all personal computers are still running the Windows XP software, even though it has no technical support from Microsoft anymore. Check this out. In Armenia, personal computers in Armenia, 42% of them use the Windows XP operating system. Anyway, it was a big deal back 18 years ago, the Windows XP operating system. I don't use it anymore either. I don't know anybody who does. 33 minutes after the hour. Birthdays on this 25th day of October. Bart Simpson is 62 years old today. Well, not Bart. Bart will always be 10. But the voice of Bart Simpson, Nancy Cartwright, is 62 years old today. And she when she's out in public, she has to be very careful with how she speaks because her normal speaking voice is pretty much like Bart Simpson's. So if she goes to a restaurant in LA and orders something, everybody goes, "Who's that?" Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson, 62 years old today. One of the greatest pitchers of all time, Pedro Martinez. He's now, of course, an analyst with Fox, and he's a good baseball analyst, too. Pedro Martinez, the Dominican-American baseball player inducted into the Hall of Fame, and on merit, I might add, 3 years ago. Pedro Martinez is 47 years old today. Happy birthday, Pedro. I always liked him, even though he beat my Yankees. And Katy Perry is 35 years old. She came out of nowhere, and then 10 years ago, the song I Kissed a Girl just exploded all over the radio, went to number one in like 25 different countries. It was her breakthrough hit. She's had 8 number one hits since then. Katy Perry is 35 years old today. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Mike McNaughty has an opinion because he always does. And then our senior news correspondent, Steve Harris, sat down with the mayor of Antioch, John Alt, who is running for election in his own right. It's the first of our series of campaign profiles for election 2019. Once again, a friendly reminder, Michael Buckingham, who is challenging John Alt in the mayoral contest, declined our invitation to participate. You can watch that interview when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 15 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and adult care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Are you tossing and turning at night because you're too hot or uncomfortable? Then you need to experience the life-changing comfort and support from Serta, Beauty Rest, and Tempur-Pedic inside Walker's mattress. Walker's offers the best selection and all the newest sleep technologies.
This week, Walker's has up to 5 years no-interest financing and a 365-day comfort guarantee on Serta and Beauty Rest. Plus, receive up to $300 of free furniture.
Start sleeping cooler and longer from the mattress experts at Walker's.
Hey, this is Sean from The Walk, and we're doing a major remodel in Wenatchee. So come on up to Leavenworth and get your walk on. We'd be happy to see you up there. The Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, where eating out is eating healthy.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today, 509-663-1710.
Come see how very different you will feel in your Bullfrog Spa.
My name is Brian Thorpe. I own Global Car Care in Wenatchee and have been here for about 25 years.
Brian started Global Car Care as Brian's automotive alternative on Orondo Street.
Some customers were following Brian since Brian's automotive time.
No, we're just grateful to be part of this community. This is where I grew up. We want to do our part to be a valuable part of this community. We want to thank you for trusting our business for 25 years.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I'm not rich by any means, but, you know, I do know where I'm going to go to sleep tonight. It'll be in a warm, safe place. I have a pretty good job. My car starts right away, and I have more than enough clothes to wear, believe it or not. Now, all in all, my life is pretty comfortable. And I like it that once in a while, my wife and I can afford to go out to eat. And so when I do, I leave at least a 20% tip. You know, I figure for some wait persons, this might be their first entry-level job. My waitress might be a single mom or a single dad, you know. The waiter or waitress might be somebody working a second job just to make ends meet. So always, and especially when I say grace at a restaurant, particularly then, I try to be a good tipper. God forbid a waitress should think that Christians are only generous with their talk. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
I have a hereditary bone disease from the female side of my family. My bone loss was so significant that you could almost see the roots. I became embarrassed and I started covering my mouth. Eating became very difficult as far as I stopped eating apples, corn on the cob, things that you just eat as it is without utensils. Dr. Divis was my dentist prior to having implants. We talked about traditional dentures or implants, and implants was the only way really that I could go. John Divis and all of his office staff, they checked on me throughout all the processes. I would never go anyplace else. Today, I can eat corn on the cob. I can have apples. Thanks to Dr. John Divis and his staff, I have my smile back. I feel more confident. I am me again.
This is John Divis. Let our team help you solve your dental needs.
Why run all over town when you can get the financial services you need under one roof? The location is 521 Chelan Street right here in Wenatchee. Accounting solutions for success. Insurance from trusted choices. Real estate, the power of the edge. Personal, professional, preferable. It's all right here. Get the edge on your financial needs. Now available in Chelan as well. Get more information at augustedge.com.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, serving North Central Washington, is proud to offer the finest heating and cooling air quality products along with prompt and professional customer service since 1984. Regardless of the temperature outside, Arctic is here for you. Arctic offers a variety of services: residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, commercial refrigeration, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs. Find it all at Wenatchee Valley Mall. There's something for all ages at Wenatchee Valley Mall. No matter what the weather, the kids will have fun in one of the many play areas around the mall. Sign your kids up for fun adventures and super specials when they join the Kids Club. It's a great time for kids and an even better time out for parents. Check out specials and events 24/7 at WenatcheeValleyMall.com. It's your Wenatchee Valley Mall. Come shop today.
The town of Eniat is situated along the Columbia River on Highway 97A, about midway between Wenatchee and Chelan. The original township was relocated to higher ground when Rocky Reach Dam was built in the mid-60s. The small, mostly rural community is a gateway to the popular Eniat River Valley, which boasts some of the best camping and river recreation opportunities in Chelan County. Eniat is now undergoing a major transformation as the town seeks to capture more tourist trade. Today, we meet with Mayor John Alt, who's being challenged in his bid for election by Michael Buckingham. John Alt joins us in studio right now. His challenger in the upcoming election is Michael Buckingham, who declined our offer to appear on the program today. John joins us here, and well, first of all, John, let's get a little background on yourself. John Alt, who's running for election for the first time after being appointed to the position to replace Keith Vredenberg as mayor of the city of Eniat. So give us a little background, John, on yourself.
Well, thanks, Steve. I really appreciate the opportunity. Your offer to bring the information to help the citizens be informed voters is really important to me. Just a little background for the folks that have not met me. I've been behind the scenes for a year and a half since I was appointed, like you mentioned, to the mayor position when the previous mayor had to leave for a major heart surgery. Mm-hmm. So I've lived in Eniat for 17 years, and I've worked earlier in my life as a automotive and aircraft mechanic, and then also as and then went through that scenario, and then spent coming up on 33 years as a commercial pilot. So, and actually I out of Eniat to LA for several years to try to finish my career. So after traveling most of my life, including traveling while my father was in the military, getting to Eniat was my first opportunity to find someplace that really felt like home.
Well, now you're in public service, serving as the mayor of what's considered, I guess, the smallest community in the among the 5 cities in Chelan County. But you are also leading a city that's in a state of transition right now. Your town right now appears to be on the verge of becoming a major player in the outdoor recreation tourism industry. I'd like for you to explain to our viewers right now what's happening along the Entiat waterfront and how you plan to carry those plans forward.
Well, that's an excellent question, Steve. You know, a few years ago when I was on the Planning Commission and then when I was serving on council before I was appointed to the mayor, I saw the growth coming, I guess, after the 07-08 downturn. We'd had a lot of subdivisions and things that were stranded up there. Those have now been mostly completed because there's a lot of new interest. The waterfront piece has been envisioned for over 20 years by our citizens, and 3 previous mayors had worked through trying to support that process and interface with the public. For 7 years, we've been working on a waterfront permit, and anybody that's worked on the waterfront knows how challenging that is. That was stalled probably indefinitely when I first came on board last year. Our team worked aggressively with all the agencies, and this summer that's just ending, we now have the permit to move that along.
And that's going to include the development of a new marina and also potentially the development of all new commercial and retail and lodging and other types of amenities as well.
It could. It's kind of a blank slate at this point. We do have a marina permit in place, the dredging permit if we wanted to do that, along with fueling for future utilization. We have a number of people coming into town that we're noticing really want to be able to share the resources that we have. That's a concern. Many people that are working a lot, more hours than ever, want to be able to do some recreation. We're partnering also with the Forest Service in their Sustainable Recreation Project, which is something that's really important to me for our citizens and possibly visitors as well.
Well, you know, John, I think for a lot of people, especially the motoring public who are traveling between Wenatchee and Chelan, see Entiat as kind of a way station on the way. And I'm sure that the city would like to capture more of that sales tax revenue that's generated by that traveling public as making Entiat possibly a destination instead of just a way station.
Well, we really would like that. We've had a few shortfalls in our budget recently, and so a little extra revenue from folks that came to join us for a little bit of tourism would be great. We'd like to see that. And so those are other opportunities coming. The waterfront piece would be an opportunity possibly for like a new core, if you will, for the city, since it hasn't really been able to restructure itself and have a city core since it was flooded by the dam.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, maybe a little deli, you know, a little bakery, something like that. So maybe some little incubator businesses of some type. I think that would be really great. The community's been asking for that and some services for a while.
How about lodging?
There is an idea that there would be maybe a small hotel, which would be great because we have a number of people that would like an opportunity to snowmobile, snowshoe, cross-country ski, hunting. We've got a lot of folks that come to enjoy those outdoor resources.
I know there's increasing popularity with the new park development and campground.
There is. That's actually very full. It's been very busy. We go to reserveamerica.com to book that now. It's online for everybody's convenience.
Wonderful. Let's talk about the city's financial situation right now. How would you describe the financial health of Entiat right now, especially as it relates to budgeting for city services?
The financial health of the city now is good. Our team delivered the first real balanced budget for 2019 since 2013. There hadn't really been a good solid balanced budget. When I came in earlier last year, the general fund hadn't been balanced for over 3 years. So we had a lot of work to do to kind of be ready for prime time, if you will. We put a tremendous new team of professionals in place, realized that we had a lot of hard work to get our ordinances up to speed and several things like that. So, and then we're going to be able to deliver a balanced budget for 2020 as well. Took some pretty deep cuts temporarily. We're just kind of getting we got our public records all up to speed and several items that just needed some refreshing.
So what's it look like going forward, though? Obviously a challenge.
It's a challenge. The team of folks we have right now, including our new finance director, who was a retired municipal finance director for 30 years, and we were able to woo her part-time, so she's in a couple days a week mentoring our new two new deputy clerk treasurers, and we have a clerk treasurer that I promoted recently who's doing an amazing job. And then we also have a new community development director as well. So it's been an amazing transition.
I guess one of the big challenges, and it's not isolated certainly to ENIAD, but it's a regional issue, and that's affordable housing. Let's talk about that issue as it relates to the city of ENIAD.
There was an earlier affordable housing conversation when I first came on board. It had been going on for a couple of years from the previous administration. There had been a contract signed to sell some public property. I came in the middle of that. The public was connected with during that final process when I came on board, because I realized that the public hadn't had much time to speak on that. They had convinced council not to sell the public property for that, but our understanding is they're looking at a private property venture to do something there. Affordable housing, I mean, everybody to start with, they need housing. You know, I'd like to see somebody have a hand up so that we can get them into a productive situation and be able to provide for their families.
I know that the city and the school district are a strong link there.
There is.
And I know that the affordable housing issue, I guess, kind of transcends just the city, but the school district as well.
The forecasting piece of that's difficult. Of course, when new housing of any kind comes in, there's no way to forecast what segment of students would be available to the school. The school has space for some types and some grades. Some of the later grades are more available, but that's because a lot of people are using some of these new running start type of programs. Mm-hmm. So I've been actually working and having some conversations with the superintendent about seeing what we could do to offer some of those types of courses at the school and keep the money in ENIAD.
As I understand, the teacher-student ratio, though, is such that the school district would like to bring in some more teachers, but...
Well, there's some, I think, my understanding is, and that those demographics keep changing, but that there's, they have good staffing in some grades and more challenges than others, and that changes from year to year.
Okay. So if you were to identify one issue that you see as important going forward, what would that single issue be?
Wow. There's a number of issues going forward. I guess the single most issue now, of course, is we're in the middle of a 3-year audit with the state auditor's office. The city had not filed financial disclosures since 2015. They're required to file those annually. So those are all being brought forward and up to date. And there's a 3-year audit that was mandated not only by the state auditor's office, but also by the city council. And we're in the middle of that right now. That should be completed in the next few months. And then we have a federal and a state audit coming up next year. So we'll get through those. 19 is a good year to clean everything up. 2020 is our planning year.
Okay. Again, John Alt joins us here on NCW Life as a candidate running for election to the mayor's office of the city of ENIAD. And again, we invited Michael Buckingham, John's opponent, to join us today, but he declined that offer. Thanks for joining us, John. Good luck in the upcoming election.
Once again, Steve, thanks for reaching out.
Only one dealership in Wenatchee has Motor Trend's SUV of the Year and Truck of the Year. That's right, Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram has the all-new Jeep Wrangler and the all-new Ram 1500 pickup. Or get the best of both worlds in the new Jeep Gladiator. Visit Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram today for more information on these award winners and see why there's no reason to leave town to buy your next vehicle.
If you want to work in IT, here's a tip. Employers value IT certifications. 91% say they play a key role in hiring. 72% require them for certain job openings. Improve your odds of getting the job. Enroll in the Computer Networking Systems program at Charter College. In 14 months, you could earn an associate degree and 6 IT certifications. Get started at chartercollege.edu/IT, where we work to get you to work.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine-in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Some jobs take more than skill. They require something deeper, an innate devotion to the communities in which we live. At Gisa Credit Union, we help you support law enforcement, firefighters, teachers, and veterans. With every purchase you make with a Gisa Local Heroes Affinity debit card, we make a donation to select organizations. After all, we can never repay them, but we can do our best to help a little with the Gisa Local Heroes Affinity debit card.
Beautiful view from our cross camera overlooking the Wenatchee Valley. You can see we have just a few low-lying clouds. Not going to be last seen very long today. The big weather story today, the wind. Now, ironically enough, we had another wind event back on Tuesday of this week, and then at that time, the Wenatchee, the National Weather Service issued a wind advisory, and even though it's supposed to be stronger winds for the Wenatchee Valley today, they have not issued a wind advisory. Take that one way or the other. It's supposed to be windy. Let's take a look at your forecast one more time. Yeah, the big story is going to be the wind. Lots of sunshine, but look at your wind gusts this afternoon. Take a look at where you call home, and that's the wind gusts, the strongest wind gusts, and the wind direction. So it's going to get breezy this morning, and by this afternoon, it's going to be downright windy. The strongest winds are going to be predicted between about 3 and 4 this afternoon, maybe even into the 5 o'clock hour before it slowly starts to die down into the evening hours. We're going to have very consistent wind, depending on where you're at. Now, once again, the Waterville Plateau and some of the more exposed areas that are used to having breezy conditions, it'll be windier there than it would be in other locations. And what's going on is there's a very fast-moving cold front, which is why we're going to have all those gusty west winds all over the inland northwest. Again, the occasional rogue gust up to 45 miles an hour is a distinct possibility for us here in the Wenatchee Valley. The consistent winds will be about 23 to 28 miles per hour for most of the morning into the afternoon hours. By about 1 o'clock, it'll be picking up even a little bit more. It'll be hovering right around 30 miles an hour between 1 to about 7, with the strongest winds peaking between 3 and 4 this afternoon. So there you go. And it's going to be windy tonight. Even though we'll have clear skies, lots of sunshine tonight and clear skies tonight, the wind's not going to be dying down till maybe 10:30 or 11. So if you're going out and about tonight for whatever it may be, high school football or whatever, you will be dealing with some windy conditions. It's going to get down to about 39 degrees. And again, it's going to be breezy right around till anywhere between breezy and windy till about 9:30 or 10 o'clock tonight before it finally dies down. Saturday is Make a Difference Day. A lot of the projects are going to be outside on Saturday. That's not going to be a problem. It's going to be sunny and a high of about 56 degrees, but the wind will be out of the northwest about 8 to 11 miles an hour. So a little bit of leftover wind from this very active and very strong cold front, which is going to fly right through here, and that's going to bring us chilly temperatures. It's going to usher in some Arctic air, and that means cool temperatures for the Wenatchee Valley for well, starting on Saturday and really into Sunday. The overnight low Saturday night will be 32. Sunday, we're looking at 50 degrees, 29 on Sunday night for the overnight low. 54 is what we're going to get to on Monday. So temperatures in the overnight hours are going to be hovering to near freezing, below freezing at times. The one consistent through this entire forecast period, and that includes Halloween on Thursday, the 31st, is sunshine. The big thing there is going to be cold for this time of the year, but lots of sunshine, though. That was your trade-off. As I mentioned before at the beginning of the show, you just saw the interview that Steve did with Indiana Mayor John Alt, who is running for re-election. All next week on the conversation portion of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we'll be airing all of the interviews that we taped. Monday, it'll be the very interesting race for Mayor of Chelan between the incumbent, Mike Cooney, and the gentleman who once had the job, Bob Getty. You'll be able to see that interview, by the way, on Monday. And all of the interviews that we have conducted with the candidates who have agreed to sit down with us are available for you to watch on demand whenever you want to. So be an informed voter. You can check them out by going to our website at ncwlife.com. Have a great weekend. Provided this show isn't canceled, we'll see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.